Hey guys, welcome to Kinfolk Farm in Georgia. If you do not know me, I'm Kim. I'm Shane's wife. You don't often see me on here because I'm not much of a person that likes to be on camera. But I thought that my husband's always saying I need to make videos, but I just don't like doing it very much. And he's so talented with it, so I just leave it up to him. But I did want to show you what I am doing today. Normally whenever we process any kind of animals or bring in all the vegetables, then I'm the one that usually does a lot of the processing, home canning, freezing, of course with the help of others, you know, when we have so much. But as you know, we started raising our own pigs a year or so ago. And one of the things I was excited about was us being able to get the kidney fat from our pigs, and me being able to process and can up our own cooking fat. It's something that I've always wanted to have but never known how to do. And then we never had the pigs, and now I want to be able to utilize what portions of the pigs that I can. We don't do the entire pig, like we don't eat head cheese or eat the jaw because we just don't really care for it. We will give it away if we have it to other people, like at my work, that does eat those parts of the pigs. But we had gotten a giant bag of lard from our butcher this last time. It's been sitting in the freezer waiting for me to do something with it. And I chopped it up last night, and let me show you. So I have got a giant bowl full of the chopped up pieces. And it had come, at first it was like in long big strips of fat, but you want to chop it up because your goal is to refine it down and make it as pure as you can. And the smaller the pieces are, the easier that is to happen. There are, not only having pigs and utilizing that part of the pig, it's not just the only reason to do it. It is, I feel like it's a healthier alternative to buying oil from the grocery store. If you know, things may appear to be healthier for you, but not always. Some may say, oh, I'm buying canola oil to replace vegetable oil, and yet they may not know that canola oil is made from the rapeseed. It's a vegetable made from the rapeseed plant, and was actually used originally to lubricate warships. And over years of altering it and getting the smell out of it and making it consumable for adults, then you began seeing it on the shelves. And so it is full of, it's a GMO product, it's full of chemicals and byproducts, and to me, no matter what they may say about fats and eating it, this is a healthier, I think, alternative to what is out there on the shelves. And there are healthy reasons for having fat as part of your meal, as long as you're not over consuming like any other product. You know, you can eat healthy foods and, you know, overdo it with those, and then it ends up being an unhealthy option also. So what we're going to do today is I cut it up small. You can also, you want to do this when it's still really cold, because then it just kind of gets harder to cut, and your knife starts getting greasy and it starts slipping. And you know, when it's kind of a frozen product or very cold product, then your knife will slip through it and you can cut it a lot more easy. So I did this yesterday while it was still cold, and today I am outside. I'm throwing them in my crock pots. You want to do it outside because this is what I hear. I've never done. Oh, I'm doing it outside because apparently it will smell up the whole house, and I don't want to smell up my house. So I'm going to put it in the crock pot for a few hours. Add just a little bit of water, like a half a cup of water, and we're going to stir it and render it down for the next few hours. And it should come out, when I'm done with this whole thing, it should come out like a pure white product for me to have canned up and on the shelves for us to use and fry up our chicken with, or cut into pie crust or biscuits, and any kind of baking or frying purposes. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope this comes out well. So now we have all of our lard in the crock pots. I have it set on low so that it can slowly cook during the next few hours. I've added a 1/4 cup of water to it to kind of, when I stir it up, it kind of will, the pieces will separate a little bit, and so then it can refine down better instead of taking way too long, because we don't want to overcook it either and end up having a burnt, unpure product. One of the other benefits that people may not know about with using your own pig lard is that it has a high smoking point, which is beneficial to our own health. With other products that have a little bit lower smoking point, which, if you don't know what a smoking point is, it's the point where the oil gets too hot and starts to burn and smoke. And with pig lard, it has a very high point before it starts doing that. And this is beneficial to us because if it gets too high of a temperature and starts burning, then it can cause oxygenation. And oxygenation leads to cell damages in our bodies, and the cell damages leads to cancer causing cells in our bodies. So with other oils and byproducts, with their lower smoking points, then it's a lot unhealthier for us compared to this pig lard. Okay, so now I let it simmer for about 5 to 6 hours. I stirred it frequently. And you notice earlier when I had shown you a picture, I mean, it was full to the top, so now it's probably about halfway, or a little more, or a little less than halfway down. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to strain out all this. You see all that liquid in there. So I'm going to be straining out all these bits and pieces and then sticking them in jars to get them processed. Finished up straining all the fat and separated it from the liquid that I had in my crock pots. I have to say, after having 2 crock pots full of the lard and cooking it down and then straining, there was a small amount of disappointment for me, not because the process wasn't difficult and it come out, it's supposed to be a yellowish color liquid, you know, when you put it in your canning jars, and it came out the color it's supposed to be. For right now, it's going to take about 24 hours to completely cool down and solidify, and we'll see whether it turned out that pure white color that we want to see or not. The only thing that I was probably disappointed about the process was I had probably around 6 pounds or so of the lard, and so once it simmered and cooked down, this was all I came out with, was you know, just 4 pint jars. 4 pint jars. So the whole process, you know, took about 6 hours, but you know, that was 4 jars that I didn't have before, and it was just solid pieces of lard in our freezer, and that we would have probably just never used, and it would have sat there, and then eventually we would have had to toss it because we didn't know how to use it properly. This way, at least I know we can get like a teaspoon or tablespoon. You know, I'd love to cook up some fried chicken in it, but I don't know if after all that work I would use a whole lot of that. It'd be nice one day to have a big supply and just kind of use it whenever I want to. But this, though, you can use just a little bit to put in with your food to fry up some vegetables or any kind of, you know, little bit of fried food. I had me some potatoes and sweet potatoes and some peppers and I just put like a little teaspoon of grease from another batch, and it was so yummy. So the only other thing I'm going to do now is I had heated up my oven to 200 degrees, and now I'm going to turn it off, put these jars inside of it, and then let the oven naturally cool down, and when it does, it will seal the jars. So of course I use, you know, I sanitized my lids, my jars, and all that before I process. So I put the lard in the oven and turned off the oven. It was preheated to 200 degrees, and I put my jars in the oven and turned off the oven so that it will naturally cool down, and that will cause the lids to seal on their own versus if I have to pressure can it or water bath it. So I came out, I was really happy with the end results. I was worried about, I was reading about the purer it is, the whiter it is. And so, now this one has a little bit, it was the very last pot, and so had a lot of that like residual in, so I didn't get it filtered enough. But the others are just very, very pretty, and they're not completely set. Almost. They take about 24 hours, and then they will be solid. I ended up with 4 jars of it. One of them did not seal, so I put that in the refrigerator, and because I'm sure we're going to be using it anyway very soon. The other ones I dated, and I'm going to put them back in my pantry so that we can have it for future use. I was told tonight that we had another bag of lard, some down in the freezer, which I thought this was the only one, so I was a little disappointed, but I'm really happy to know that we might have another one in our freezer so I can process a few more jars. But I hope y'all all like this video, and if you're not subscribed to Kinfolk Farm of Georgia, please do so. My husband's amazing at everything he does around here, and has a great personality and makes a lot of us laugh. So I think y'all would really enjoy it. So hope to see y'all. Got some new shirts in. Sorry. Kinfolk Farm of Georgia. Thanks to Jennifer, a friend of ours. She made these shirts for us and does an amazing job. We really appreciate it. But hope you all have a good evening, and hope to see you on the next video.